it would be hard for me to comment on what he's answered and what answers he's given back.
Well, it sounds like he was just talking with him today and talked also to Jeff's wife.
Well,
And
from past experience, totally different situation. I wanted to talk to a prosecuting attorney because I had a friend in, that was going through a court process, and the prosecuting attorney told me that he could not comment on any case that was, this hadn't gone to jury yet, so he couldn't comment on the case at all. So, and that was just correct legal proceedings. So, we won't be able to find out anything from a prosecuting attorney.
Well, those are instructions of either.
But do you see where I'm saying that doesn't make sense? Because prosecuting attorney, am I right? That's what I was told by the Crawford County.
That's what, yeah, that's to buttress her point. That's what I was told today by Mr. Parks. He said he wouldn't tell me anything until the conclusion of the trial, which is, right now scheduled to begin April 30th. So essentially everyone here and at Troop I says, talk to Mr. Parks. Mr. Parks says, I'm not going to talk to you until after the conclusion of the trial. So, I don't know what y'all's exact mission statement or tenets, objectives are, but usually like communication or integrity or some characteristics like that are pretty are included in these agencies that purport to protect and serve. But in this situation, I think it's clear that that's not happening. And I think folks are rightly concerned about Jeff's treatment and the lack of what I see as double standards, protecting y'all's own. Can I ask, I guess on a different note, do you guys personally know Henry Folsom or Scott Mertens?
No, I don't. At this point, we respect your opinion, but you've gone and the prosecutor's given you his answer. So today, we're not going to get a different answer. That's kind of where we stand. We do respect your opinion, and we'll just see what happens. And I think in the end, he's told you that let the case go forward. At that point, he will release information, and that's kind of where it stands.
So we're just, go ahead, Steve.
so I guess to me, I think you guys are being pretty upfront, and I wasn't really expecting you to come out with a lot of details, but the one thing I find is that when you tell me to talk to a prosecuting attorney for details, and it seems that prosecuting attorney is really not going to give me any details. I'm just wondering why you say that, or do you really did you really think that if I called the prosecutor, or do you still really think that if tomorrow morning I call the prosecuting attorney, he's going to talk to me and give me answers to my questions?
I'm not sure what he would give you at this point. I don't know what he can give you at this point, but I do know that he's instructed us to send you to him for information. So that's where we are.
Okay, so if I kind of see myself in a catch-22, I talk to the police and they tell me that they were instructed by the prosecuting attorney to see the prosecuting attorney for information, and I go to him and he tells me, I'm not telling you anything. What would you do, knowing you know the system better than I do? What would you do next?
Well, I think what the prosecutors told you from what Peter just said is, at some point I will release some information. I never heard Peter say that the prosecutor said, I will never release information. He said at some point. So that's kind of where we are. So there's a difference between never and at some point. And so that's kind of where we are. But I respect the opinion here, but that's really all that I can answer for. And I just wanted to make sure I knew you guys were coming in, and I wanted to make sure that I was here to try to answer questions that I could. Probably didn't answer the questions that you wanted, but to do the best that I can.
And I personally appreciate you being here, especially if you'd have been gone by now.
And we appreciate your concern. We do. We honestly, we do. But you have to understand, we weren't there. We haven't read the report. You're asking us specific questions that we don't have the answers to. They're in that report, and the prosecutor has it, and he has requested that all media inquiries and all questions from anybody, any member of the public, are sent to his office.
But
Once again, that's where we're.
I'm going to be a little further on this. If I knew those answers, even if I were there and I knew those answers you were asking me, at this point, I couldn't even have the discussion and answer your questions. That report is with the prosecutor.
Okay, and I would have expected that. And I know you kind of answered this question, but maybe since we're being more honest, I could get an even better answer. If it goes through court and things happen to where Jeffrey is put away for a long time and you personally, through your investigations, know something that might have been a mitigating circumstance or something that wasn't brought up in the trial, do you take the time to even look at that? And if you did, and you felt there was something that they left out or that he was railroaded, would you, as a police officer, say, I've got to speak out. Something's wrong here. This wasn't brought out. Or I know that this piece of evidence was left out and they said it didn't exist or something, and I know it does. Would you, after the trial is all over, would you say, hey, something's wrong here, I've got to do something personally?
I can tell you that this organization stands for the rights of all people and will protect everyone the same.
Okay, so I'm saying,
That's my answer.
I would like to interpret that as a yes.
That's my answer. That's my answer.
Okay, I would really have felt better with a yes.
That's my answer.
Okay, thank you.
Well, if Mr. Johnson, if you do say that you protect everyone's rights the same, that would say that, like, if you knew that I went out and stole from someone, then, I would be in the wrong for stealing someone's property or whatever, correct?
I don't think I'm going to talk about what ifs here.
Well, I'm just saying, what I do know is that y'all's salary, this building, the prosecutor, everybody involved is paid for with, I'm not speaking for everybody, this is my own thoughts here, is paid for with money that's taken from people, and that leads to these perverse incentives that allow for maybe folks like Folsom and Mertens to get away with what they've done already because there's no real check on the accountability because it's a monopoly, it's a coercive monopoly. And so the fact is that it doesn't bode well for transparency, which we're seeing today. It doesn't bode well for accountability or for getting the facts out there, for having the real aggressors be held accountable. Because if you take this institution down to its root, to its kernel, it exists on a double standard that y'all claim a right to steal from people to then protect them. And so with that perverse incentive at its core, it grows, its natural consequences to grow to what we see where some people with badges get away with murder sometimes. And that's my concern. That's why I'm here. That's why I wanted to look into Jeff's situation more because from what none of us were at the scene, which has been stated. I don't have all the information, but I'm trying to get more information so that I can share that with others. And the fact is that your organization, the institution, y'all seem more interested in protecting the institution than in actually bringing about a just conclusion. And that concerns me, but I'm not surprised because that's a natural consequence of this institution that's built on these flawed ideas. And I just wanted to at least share that, so maybe you guys think about it. There's a Welcome Leos page at CopBlock.org. I encourage you to check it out and maybe expose yourself to some different ideas on how, if you guys are good folks and do a good job, people would voluntarily hire you to provide that good or service instead of having to do it via force. And then if you happen to work with heavy-handed people, like maybe Henry Folsom is a heavy-handed guy, maybe he has a history of things, I don't know, because oftentimes personal records are said not to be able to be disseminated, which to me doesn't make sense because if he does work for folks in Missouri, you guys should want to make that sort of thing transparent. So I would just encourage you, if you do see that Mr. Folsom or any other of your colleagues or anything like that are doing some things wrong for me or somebody else that doesn't wear the same outfit that y'all wear, then I would hope you would speak out. And like you said, you think we all have the same rights and things, so I would hope that you would act upon that, and it's not just, some statement.
Well, I respect your opinion. I think that's the great thing about our country. We all can have our opinion, and that is your opinion.
What is the policy that you have as far as having dash cams and things going in police vehicles, or having police record what they're doing? Do you have a policy on that as a state highway patrol?
And I tell you, I would probably, so I get the verbiage exactly correct, put you up to the custodian of records, and I can give you that number, and that information can be sent out to you.
Okay.
Okay? Do you like that number?
Please. Can I write it in your book?
I need a pen here. You got one in here?
It's okay.
Okay.
So they would actually be able to tell if you have a policy on it. You're not aware yourself.
We do have policy on that, yes.
But you don't know what it is?
I do know what it is. I just want to make sure that you get it exactly how it is, because I don't have it right here in front of me. And so I don't want to tell you something, leave something out, and then you say, well, wait a minute, you didn't tell me that whole part.
Okay, so you... Because that would make things a lot easier, because we understand you're in a very ticklish position, and if somebody, we understand the danger involved in your situation, but it's very hard if there's no record. And if I mean, as a citizen, I would like to see there be some sort of a rule that if you were a law enforcement with a gun, that you wear, what the kayakers wear, the little cameras on their foreheads, and so you had a responsibility to be recording, what you were seeing or what was going on with you at all times. I mean, it seems in this day and age a very reasonable thing to do. But anyway, I'll look into what your policy is.
Very good. Well, you guys, be safe. Have a good evening. Take care.
Do our best. You as well. And if you guys think of any other info you want to share, there's a submission tab at CopBlock, or you can message me at pete@copblock.org. I'm definitely, trying to bring about some justice in this and other situations. So.
Very good.
All right.
Thank you. Have a good day. Be safe, guys. See you.
So what do you guys think? Any thoughts? You guys want to share any thoughts, or how it went?
Well, I didn't really think they'd be giving you any information.
Yeah.
They're courteous.
Yeah. That one guy, Al Northrum, that was on the right, he had hung up on me, hung up on Mike Arthur in September when we called. So kind of a different persona today, but yeah. Anyway.